Alright, it is Wednesday, May 1st, 2019 at 5:20 p.m. Let's take a look at some headlines. Huge God of Chaos asteroid to pass near Earth in 2029. A 1,110-foot wide asteroid named for the Egyptian god of chaos will fly past Earth in 2029 within the distance of some orbiting spacecraft according to reports. The asteroid 99942 Apophis will come within 19,000 miles of Earth on April 13, a decade from now. But scientists at the Planetary Defense Conference are already preparing for the encounter, Newsweek reported. They plan to discuss the asteroid's effect on Earth's gravity, potential research opportunity, and even how to deflect an oncoming asteroid in a theoretical scenario. Scientists say more asteroids that pass near Earth are more than 30 feet wide, making Apophis, named for an Egyptian god of chaos, a rare opportunity for research. The asteroid will be visible to the naked eye and will look like a moving star point of light, according to NASA. It will pass over the United States in the early evening, according to WUSA 9. Apophis was discovered in 2004, and after tracking it for 15 years, scientists say the asteroid is at 1 in 100,000 chance of striking Earth decades in the future, after 2060. And here I was just thinking that maybe Bruce Willis will come and drill and possibly save us from these asteroids. But all kidding aside, hopefully the asteroid doesn't do any damage to us. Alright, next, the Trump administration is going to start DNA testing families at the border. The rapid DNA testing pilot program is expected to launch next week at 2 locations along the U.S.-Mexico border. The Department of Homeland Security is expected to launch a DNA testing pilot program at the southern border next week to identify and prosecute immigrants posing as families. An agency official with knowledge of the program told BuzzFeed News. The pilot program, which was reported by CNN, will be rolled out for 2 or 3 days at the border locations. U.S. Customs and Border Protection will refer adults they find posing as families to ICE Homeland Security investigations for possible prosecution. So guys, that's something that's happening. Alright, next. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange sentenced to 50 weeks in prison for skipping bail in England. His 7 years in Ecuadorian embassy cost British taxpayers $21 million, and the judge said he sought asylum as a deliberate attempt to delay justice. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was sentenced by a British judge on Wednesday to 50 weeks in prison for skipping bail and hiding out for 7 years in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Assange failed to report to a police station in June 2012 when he faced extradition to Sweden on charges of sexual assault and rape. He claims he sought refuge because he feared subsequent extradition to the United States, where he had been charged with leaking classified American military documents. Instead of reporting to police, Assange entered Ecuadorian embassy, gained diplomatic asylum, and remained there for 2,487 days. The asylum was revoked last month, and he was dragged out of the building by police. On Wednesday, Assange, 47, was sentenced in London's Southwark Crown Court. Judge Deborah Taylor told the court it was difficult to envisage a more serious example of this offense. Assange's decision to remain in the embassy for 7 years cost the British taxpayers £16 million, or $21 million, largely due to the excessive police surveillance on the building. The judge told Assange he was guilty of exploiting your privileged position to flout the law and advertise internationally your disdain for the law of this country. Kristen Hafferson, the editor-in-chief of WikiLeaks, called the sentence outrageous and vindictive in nature. What is at stake here could be a question of life and death for Mr. Assange, Hafferson said on Wednesday. It is also a question of life and death for a major journalistic principle. Assange apologized unreservedly for skipping bail, and his defense team argued he had done so because he was a desperate man who wanted to avoid extradition to the U.S., the Associated Press reported. However, the judge noted that he had previously pleaded not guilty, and his mitigation Wednesday was only the first recognition that you regret your actions. After the sentence was handed down, Assange supporters chanted "Shame on you" from the public gallery as he was led away. Outside the court, more demonstrators chanted "Free, free Julian Assange," and held banners with messages such as "Assange's freedom is our freedom." Assange, who is Australian, faces a separate legal fight against the extradition request from the U.S., where he is charged with conspiring with Chelsea Manning, the former Army intelligence analyst, to hack into U.S. military intelligence files. If convicted, Assange faces a maximum 5-year sentence. The focus of our energies will now be on fighting that extradition request. That the fight starts tomorrow, his lawyer Jennifer Robinson said. Manning was sentenced to 35 years in prisons, but her sentence was commuted by President Barack Obama in 2017 after 7 years. Excuse me, guys. Alright. Next. Cocaine found in shrimp. Shocking study reveals. A study looking at freshwater marine life in the UK has an alarming conclusion: cocaine and illegal pesticides inside freshwater shrimp. The research looked at the exposure of wildlife, including the freshwater shrimp, Gammarus pulex, to different micropollutants. When the researchers came to the startling revelation: although concentrations were low, we were able to identify compounds that might be of concern to the environment and, crucially, which might pose risk to wildlife, the study led author Dr. Thomas Miller said in a statement. Dr. Miller concluded, as part of our ongoing work, we found that the most frequently detected compounds were illicit drugs, including cocaine, ketamine, and banned pesticide phenuron. Although for many of these, the potential for many effects is likely to be low. Ketamine is a powerful drug that has been used to provide pain relief and sedation, and is often linked to opioids, but it is not a member of the opiate family. Samples were tested from 15 different locations across Suffolk, and all of them came back positive for cocaine, which Dr. LeBrown found surprising. Such regular occurrence of illicit drugs in wildlife was surprising. Dr. Barron said in the statement, we might expect to see these in urban areas such as London, but not in smaller and more rural catchments. At this time, it's unclear how the cocaine and the banned pesticides entered the shrimp, Dr. Barron added. Further research is needed to determine if it's an issue only for the Suffolk or if it's an issue more widespread. Whether the presence of cocaine in aquatic animals is an issue in Suffolk, more widespread occurrence in the UK and abroad, awaits further research. Environmental health has attracted much attention from the public due to challenges associated with climate change and microplastic pollution. However, the impact is of invisible chemical pollution such as drugs on wildlife health needs more focus in the UK. The study was published by the Scientific Journal of Environment International. So there is traces of cocaine and shrimp in the UK. So if you're eating shrimp out there, try not to eat local catch shrimp, which is pretty wild for a shrimp to have cocaine in them, but I just found that story quite interesting. Alright guys, hit like and subscribe for more videos. See you guys next time. God bless.